Plitvice Lakes, the park's so beautiful, it looks fake. Wild national parks. Every year, millions of people visit Plitvice Lakes National Park and leave thinking they have seen something artificial. But nothing here is constructed, and nothing here is finished. What visitors are looking at is not a landscape. It is a system that is actively building itself in real time, visible, measurable. Water flows, minerals accumulate, barriers form, lakes reshape themselves. The entire landscape is under construction, moment by moment, which is why it looks fake, because no static landscape can appear this perfect. Something this visually complete must be actively maintained. And it is, but not by people, by geology. Travertine, the building material. The defining process of Plitvice is travertine formation. It is calcium carbonate accumulation created when mineral-rich water deposits minerals as it flows over biological layers, moss, algae, and microbial communities that provide the surface on which deposition occurs. This is not a finished material. It is an active process. Water flows over vegetation. Calcium carbonate deposits gradually, layer by layer. These layers solidify into barriers, dams, terraces, waterfalls. But the barriers are not static. As they grow, they redirect water flow, which means the landscape is not fixed in its current form. It is continuously adjusting. Water shifts direction. New waterfalls emerge at different locations. Existing ones move. Lakes expand or contract depending on how the barriers develop. The system is in perpetual reorganization. This is not erosion, where material is removed. This is construction, where material is accumulated and reformed. The landscape is being built, right now, in real time, visibly. The color and its source. The color is what catches attention first. Bright turquoise. Deep blue. Green that shifts depending on light and depth. It appears engineered, almost fake. But it is the result of calcium carbonate particles 50 suspended in fresh water from travertine dissolution. Sunlight interacts with these particles in the lake bottom, producing wavelengths that read as turquoise rather than the browns and greens of most freshwater lakes. The effect is amplified by water clarity. Visibility in Plitvice extends to 20+ meters or more, far deeper than typical mountain lakes. This allows you to see the entire water column clearly while looking at depths of 50+ meters. This combination creates an optical paradox. The water is very deep, but appears very shallow, because it is completely clear. The color is perfectly saturated but naturally occurring. The landscape looks artificial, because no static landscape achieves this balance of clarity and depth and chromatic perfection. But it is not static. The color shifts seasonally as mineral concentrations change and light angles shift. Continuous transformation. Most geological processes operate over timescales too vast to observe. Plitvice operates differently. Here, transformation is continuous and measurable. Travertine formation happens in real time. Water flows across vegetation, depositing calcium carbonate layer by layer. These deposits build gradually, forming the natural barriers that define the system. Small changes occur within years. A thin layer of mineral accumulation alters the edge of a barrier. Water begins to shift slightly, following a new path. A minor structural variation cascades into directional change. Larger changes occur within decades. Barriers rise, water levels adjust. Entire sections of flow are redirected. A waterfall that exists in one location today may not follow the same course in a decade. What this means, the landscape is not achieving equilibrium. It is continuously reorganizing. What you see today is not what existed 10 years ago, and it will not be the same in 10 years hence. The park is not a fixed environment being preserved. It is a dynamic system being protected so it can continue to change. Why boardwalks are necessary? Visitors do not move freely through Plitvice. Wooden boardwalks define every step, forming a continuous network above the lakes and waterfalls. This is not crowd management. This is process protection. The travertine barriers that define the park depend on a delicate biological-geological interaction. Moss, algae, and microbial layers provide the surface on which calcium carbonate is deposited. These living layers are not peripheral to the geology. They are the foundation of the entire system. Walking off the boardwalks destroys this immediately. Footsteps compress vegetation. Pressure breaks the biological structures that support mineral accumulation. Water flow is interrupted. Deposition patterns change. The travertine formation process slows or stops. Without boardwalks, the system begins to fail. The same process that creates the waterfalls and the perfect color and the structural barriers would be disrupted by uncontrolled human movement, which means the boardwalks are not restricting your experience. They are enabling the process that creates the experience. Without them, there would be no travertine formation, no perfect color, no continuously transforming landscape, the paradox of controlled access. Plitvice presents a paradox that no other park faces. It is completely natural. The geology is real. The travertine formation is authentic. Nothing is constructed. But the experience of it is completely controlled. Most parks protect the landscape from people. Close off sensitive areas. Restrict movement. The goal is to preserve what exists by limiting human interaction. Plitvice does something different. It controls movement not to protect what exists, but to enable the process that creates what exists. The boardwalks do not restrict your experience of a finished landscape. They enable the biological-geological process that is constantly rebuilding the landscape. This makes Plitvice structurally unique. It is not protected from interaction. It is protected through controlled interaction, which means the infrastructure is not external to the park. It is part of the park's definition. Without the boardwalks, the travertine system fails. The waterfall formation stops. The color begins to fade. The entire process unravels. Protection and experience are not separate here. They are the same thing. The process beneath the surface. Most visitors focus on what is immediately visible: the waterfalls, the lakes, the color of the water. They experience the surface, the visual result of the processes taking place underneath. What they miss is that these features are not finished. They are actively being built. The waterfalls exist because they are being constructed. Right now, as water flows and minerals deposit and barriers form. The lakes exist because they are being maintained through continuous mineral accumulation. The color exists because a process is happening. If that process stops, if the travertine formation ceases, the landscape changes. Water would follow different paths. Barriers would cease forming. The color would fade as the biological-geological system failed. This is not a landscape frozen in time. It is a landscape defined by continuous change. And the perfect appearance is not a static achievement. It is evidence that the system is actively working. Visiting Plitvice without understanding this is like watching a film and noticing only the frame, not the motion inside it. You are seeing the moment, but not the process that is creating that moment. Closing. Plitvice Lakes National Park does not look real, not because it is artificial, but because it does not behave like a fixed landscape. It is not a finished environment being preserved. It is a system in motion. Water builds barriers. Minerals form structures. Vegetation shapes the flow. Everything that is visible exists because something is actively happening. Most geological features reach stability and then very slowly erode. Plitvice is constantly rebuilding. That continuous reconstruction creates the appearance of perfection because the imperfections are being actively repaired continuously in real time, which means the perfect color and the precise waterfalls and the geometric lakes are not static achievements. They are ongoing processes. And the moment you understand that, the landscape transforms from being something to photograph into something to understand. What makes Plitvice extraordinary is not how it looks. It is how it works. If this changed how you see Plitvice, there is more beneath the surface. The guide in the description covers the travertine formation process and how to observe it, the seasonal color shifts and mineral concentration changes, the boardwalk routes and which ones reveal the formation process most clearly, and what the ecosystem must do for the system. To continue functioning, just click the link below to get started.